Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Planet Keebler. I'm so glad you're here today. This is the channel where we're changing the world one video at a time. This is your place for positivity, spirituality, financial discipline, and health and wellness. These are some of the things that help us grow and thrive. In today's video, we'll be talking about 40 days and 40 nights. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's explore this topic together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you vibe with the content. Now let's get into it. The phrase 40 days and 40 nights appears multiple times in the Bible. This phrase carries deep symbolic and spiritual meaning. It is often associated with periods of testing. It's associated with trials. It's associated with purification. It's associated with preparation. And it's associated with transformation. The number 40 is not random. The number 40 represents a spiritually significant period in which individuals or groups undergo challenges. These people experience encounters with God that ultimately lead to renewal or change. In our modern lives, we often measure change and progress in 30-day cycles. We follow the modern calendar where each month is more or less 30 days long. We all have monthly bills. Some of us do fitness challenges, and some of us have diet plans or productivity schedules. The rhythm of these events is tied to the calendar. It's tied to the moon's phases. It's tied to the practical flow of society. We all use the modern calendar. Whether it's January or June, whether it's winter or summer, the modern calendar is very helpful. It's a convenient, predictable structure that helps us plan, track, and evaluate our goals. For many, 30 days is enough time to form a habit, break an old one, or see visible results. But the Bible often speaks in 40-day cycles. These biblical periods are not bound to human calendars. These biblical periods are tied to spiritual processes. These 40-day cycles are not just about forming habits. These 40-day cycles are about transformation. The number 40 represents a sacred season of testing. It represents purification and preparation. Remember the story of Moses on Mount Sinai? What about Elijah's journey to Mount Horeb? Think about Jesus in the wilderness. All these biblical figures endured 40 days and 40 nights that changed their lives and missions forever. In these stories, the 40-day period is less about convenience and more about completeness in God's timing. Try to think about some of those times when your progress felt off. You may think you were failing or whatever you were doing wasn't working. It may not be failure. Everyone expects us to follow the standard 30-day cycle. Sometimes we may be walking a spiritual 40-day path. Perhaps that new job you started, that new diet, or that new relationship isn't just about quick results. What if it's about letting the process work deeply within us? The extra 10 days might represent the time God uses to refine us. The extra 10 days might represent the time God uses to strip away pride and prepare us for something greater than what we originally aimed for. The difference is subtle but profound. The 30-day cycle focuses on efficiency and results that we can measure. This is something that fits into the clockwork of our modern lives. The 40-day cycle focuses on spiritual readiness, heart transformation, and divine preparation. This spiritual cycle may not fit neatly into our modern calendars. In the Bible, 40 days often marks a time of testing of faith, obedience, or character. It's a time when people are stripped of comfort or distractions to face their dependence on God. The period acts as a kind of spiritual cleansing. 40 days is an opportunity for people to be purified from sin, pride, or disobedience. Many biblical figures spent 40 days in preparation for a calling, ministry, or covenant. This period often ends with a divine revelation or new beginning. In some biblical contexts, the number 40 symbolizes a generation. A generation is a complete cycle of change. Every 40-day biblical event involves a moment of divine interaction. During these 40-day cycles, God is speaking, guiding, or transforming. The number 40 marks a time where people are emptied. They're emptied physically, emotionally, or spiritually. After this emptying, they can be filled with God's presence or direction. 40 days often separates the past from a new spiritual season. This is a kind of spiritual reset. Genesis chapter 7 verse 12 says, "And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights." This verse shows how long God made it rain. During Noah's time, God sent rain for 40 days and 40 nights to cleanse the earth of sin. Exodus 24 verse 18 says, "Then Moses entered the cloud as he went on up the mountain. And he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. This verse shows us how Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights with God on Mount Sinai. He received the 10 Commandments after this 40-day period. 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 8 says, "So he got up and ate and drank. Strengthened by that food, he traveled 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God." Elijah fasted and journeyed 40 days and 40 nights to meet with God. Matthew chapter 4 verse 2 says, "After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry." This verse shows how Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights before beginning his ministry. During his 40-day cycle, Jesus was prepared to be tempted by the devil because he depended on God instead of food. Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 9 says, "When I went up on the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water." Here, Moses fasted for 40 days before receiving the law. He endured a period of testing and preparation before God gave him the tablets of the law. In our lives, there is room for both cycles. The 30-day cycle keeps us moving with discipline. The 40-day cycle calls us to pause and recognize that transformation sometimes needs more time. It needs more surrender, and it needs more spiritual grounding. The 30-day cycle is about what we can accomplish. The 40-day cycle is about who we become in the process. When we sense that our journey is taking longer than expected, we might remember that the biblical 40-day rhythm is not a delay. It's a divine pace. I remember the 90-day probationary periods for jobs when I was younger. There were times when I knew that after 30 days I liked the job. There were other times when I didn't think I could do what they asked of me or if the job was for me or not. I also remember working out at the gym and starting a new diet. If I didn't see the results I liked after 30 days, I would quit. What about relationships? We all had rules to follow when we met someone new that we cared about. My rules would kick in after 30-day stages. If my relationship made it to 3 months or 6 months, a different set of rules would apply. But honestly, most of the time these rules never made sense. If this also happened to you, maybe we weren't in tune to what was going on. We may not have been aware of what cycle our mind, body, and soul were following. I'm not saying a 40-day cycle is better than a 30-day cycle. I'm saying we need to pay attention to what path we are currently following. This way, we don't become discouraged with our results or misread our progress. You may be going through probation for a new job. You may be adjusting to a new lifestyle. Or you may be overcoming a personal trial. Remember, those 40 days and 40 nights may be the sacred preparation we didn't know we needed. The 30-day cycle gives us structure, discipline, and visible progress. It aligns with the rhythm of our modern lives. The 30-day cycle helps us form habits, measure growth, and achieve practical goals. The 40-day cycle reflects God's timing. It invites us into a deeper journey of testing, surrender, and transformation. If you are feeling a little off during your monthly routine, you may be on a journey that goes beyond surface results. God may be preparing you for something greater. Both cycles are valuable. 30 days can shape our routines, but 40 days can shape our hearts. The 30-day cycle focuses on efficiency. The 40-day cycle focuses on endurance. The 30-day cycle may strengthen our will, but the 40-day cycle strengthens our spirit. When we embrace both, we live with balance. We will have discipline for daily life and devotion for divine growth. And when our journey takes a little longer than expected, remember this: sometimes God calls us to the 40 days and 40 nights, not to delay us, but to prepare us for something greater than we imagined. Thank you for joining me today. Peace and God bless you all.